Good morning, Jason. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I caught on to what you were doing there last second. I'm like, oh no, which way do I turn?
It's always a
That's too
great
funny.
day with Mike Carson in the morning.
Absolutely. You never cease to amaze me and surprise me in some way.
That sounds like a TV show. Mike Carson in the morning. I'm just saying. It's got
Hey,
the right amount
you
of
know,
syllables.
if I had a TV show, I'd just call it "Give Me the Mic" or
Give me
"Drop
the
the
mic.
Mic."
Oh, hey, there we go. Drop the mic. Mike.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even going to ask. Is that what happened when you were a kid?
Only on my head. Explains a lot.
Oh boy. Oh, Lord
It's
help
too
him.
funny. Good
Oh,
morning, Jeremy. Let's say hi to some people. We got Jeremy,
Land of
the
Lincoln
land
Brothers.
of Lincoln Brothers. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
that's a good way to put it. Morning, Adam.
Adam's
Joe.
last name would make a great ice cream like company, Schweigel Ice Cream.
Schwaggle ice cream.
Schweigel Ice Cream. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
It's like,
it could work.
Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs is harder to say, in my opinion. So they did good.
Yeah. And you can't spell it worth a crap. And you got, what is it? Above one of the letters, there's the two dots
Yeah.
in their name. Like, how do you write that down?
I don't know.
That must have hated his name growing up. He's like, you know what? Now I'm going to put it on every ice cream in every freezer, and everyone's going to know my name. I'm just going to stick to him.
This got way off subject quick.
I know. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, boy. Okay.
All right. So, real quick, since we have the banner up above,
Hey, 4-week mastermind.
4-week mastermind.
I saw that.
It is. You can go to Service Alliance Group right now and register for it. The registration went live at midnight last night or this morning, however you want to look at that.
It's beautiful.
And you get signed up. So
who's the speakers? Who's the speakers?
The speakers.
Yeah, you got speakers for this?
We've got, this is a 4 weeks mastermind session, and we're not going to say who that is yet.
Okay. All right.
So
I have an idea.
We're still working out some details on one of them. So
it's 4 weeks, and I know 4 people who kind of head this up, and they're really good speakers. So I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to take one of the weeks because it's right in my wheelhouse, and we're each gonna take some parts, but there's one week that we're gonna bring in a guest speaker.
That's pretty awesome.
That we're looking at. So,
all right. Keep us in the.
Absolutely.
I take it that's where we sign up. ServiceAllianceGroup.com.
ServiceAllianceGroup.com. There's a link right at the very top of the website to go ahead and register. We posted it in all the Facebook groups. We got an email going out in less than an hour.
I'm going to say hey to Tony Leone. It's such a great Italian name. I don't know if he's Italian or not, but he is not an appliance repair person. He's not a tradesperson at all. It's a guy I used to go to church with many years ago, and he's been watching the show on Tuesdays and getting a big kick out of just me and you hanging out and talking. So, hey, Tony
Leone. And you don't know if he's Italian. How can you not be Italian if you?
Hey, I'm Tony Leone.
Just because you have, even if you weren't Italian and someone named you that, you are now Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just default.
I know his voice, and this isn't really it, but I can just hear him say, "If you want, I should break your legs for you."
And boy. He's got to be from Illinois if you're saying that.
Yeah, for sure. for sure.
That whole Chicago thing is like, when people think of Illinois, they think Chicago, because Chicago is all of Illinois,
Yeah.
and
I was at a motorcycle rally this past weekend up in Galesburg and Knox County Fairgrounds, and I don't know how many people. Even Shayna, for Pete's sake, she was like, "Yeah, we're going up north, up by Chicago." I'm sitting here thinking, Galesburg's like 3 hours from Chicago. So even my wife, who's from Illinois, was saying we're going to Chicago. Like, yeah, not even.
that's like up towards Galena.
Yeah, yeah. So, anywho,
Wow.
hey, what are we talking about today?
Vision. Let's
Vision.
talk about vision and the law of the compass.
Okay, that's a good one.
Like our description for the video says, without clear vision, it's like you're navigating a ship in the dark while wearing a blindfold.
That reminded me of something else I shouldn't say, but yeah. Okay, I'll say it. It's kind of like pissing in the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
As long as you're sideways in that wind, or turned around with the wind to your back, you're fine.
If you say so. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it can be as windy as it wants to get then.
Imagine doing that off of a big building in the middle of a city. That would kind of be awkward.
Oh, you just gave everybody a lot of ideas. I can just see this going all kinds of wrong.
My mind goes all kinds of which ways this early in the morning.
People think it's raining.
All right. Well, we prayer, scripture. What would you like to do?
Let's open in prayer, and then you can jump right into the scripture, and I get the prayer.
Sounds
all
good.
Right. All right. Heavenly Lord, I want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for everybody watching. I want to thank you for all the exciting things that we get to do this week. It's only Tuesday and just the beginning of Tuesday, so we still got quite a few days left in the week to go out there and make an impact on somebody's life. So help us to spread your word, to be your example. And I want to thank you for all you've done and the forgiveness that you've given us, as we truly don't deserve it. And it's with all these things we praise you. Amen. All right. So you've got a verse.
I do.
Let me get
so
that up here.
Habakkuk 2:2 is the verse. There was believe it or not, a Christian rap group back in my younger days that had a little song that they did that used this verse. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, so I remember this one like the back of my hand. But it's Habakkuk 2:2, and the Jason version of it is write the vision down and make it plain to see, so that all may run with it. All right. So write the vision down, make it plain for all to see, so that all may run with it. That's the Jason version. And so we're talking about John Maxwell's law of the compass, right? So that comes out of his book, 17 Laws of Teamwork. I didn't know if you knew that one or not. But it states that in order to be successful, you must have a clear vision of your future. The compass points towards vision, values, and mission, while the clock deals with appointments and activities. The law of the compass gives individuals direction, confidence, and the ability to mold into a team. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like how it kind of puts in there the clock versus the compass. Clock deals with the appointments and activities. The compass gives individuals direction, confidence, and the ability to mold into a team. That one may end up having to go on our board today. I like that.
Yeah, I had some notes on this when I was studying it, and it breaks it down. Like his chapter in this book was pretty neat, how it kind of separated everything into 3 different parts. And it talks about your historical compass, strategic compass, and your visionary compass. And if you don't know where you've been, you can never really know where you're at now, and
Yeah.
then you can never plan for the future. And the there there's one part of it that talks about the historical that I think it's just great.
Hmm.
And it's, don't remove the fence before you know why it's there. What is it protecting you from? You know, a lot of people are especially in my world. You know, I deal with so many different companies, and they're like, well, and I'll ask, why do you do that? I don't know. It's always been that way. We've always just done it that way. And I'm like, just because you've always done it that way doesn't mean that you should continue doing it that way. But why have you always done it that way?
Yep.
You should know this stuff. You know, it's the only way that you can actually make a good decision whether you should keep doing it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of that always kind of just drove me nuts when people don't know why they're doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, or they don't question why they're doing something. You should question everything in your business or your job, basically. In my opinion, I always performed better when I knew the why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that question a lot from our foster daughter. Why? 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 Why do I need to go to bed so early? uh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, people want to understand the why.
True.
You know, and usually when they understand the why, they're more on board, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, I get it. We have our big vision, our 10-year vision. So now it's 2032. It's less than 10 years. On our wall in the break room, kitchen, training room, the bigger room. And it shows all the different positions that we plan on having by 2032. It's 10 foot wide, about 2-3 foot tall. And when people are being interviewed, our HR training manager, hiring person goes in there, takes them in there, shows them the big vision, and says, now, where can you see yourself in this by 2032? Explains it and then asks that question. And we have people who have been there months, years that constantly go back and look at that, and they'll talk to Shayna or myself or Andy or Tabitha or any of the leadership team and be like, hey, I would like to potentially be in this position. What do I need to do to get to that point where I can be there? So the vision has been written, right? People can see it plainly, and now they want to run with it. And that's such a great feeling as a leader, business owner, business leader, to be able to show people where we want to go and get them involved with it so they can run with it. So,
well, it's nice because in your case, you're presenting the gaps that need to be filled, and you put it in a visual way. And it doesn't matter if it's a 10-year vision. All those gaps could be filled, 6 months, a year, whatever it takes. That's just a 10-year vision from when you started to make it, right?
Yeah, we've got I know we have a 3-year up there, but I'm trying to remember if we've got a 5-year up there. I have to go see, but a 3-year, and then we also have a current one we got. We do quarterly meetings with our entire team, so it's required. We pay them for an hour of their time to come to that meeting. We do that quarterly. Then we also have a quarterly, we call it breaking bread, and that happens tonight for us, where we just get together and we hang out. Tonight we've got some stuff planned. If everybody wants to stick around after we eat dinner, then I've got a movie projector set up outside, on the side of the barn, and we're gonna watch movies. I'm kind of leaning towards the Goonies because I like the Goonies, and I haven't seen the Goonies in a while. So, I mean, imagine the Goonies on the side of a 20-foot barn, office. How cool that would be. So,
Chunk on the side of a barn. Hey, you guys.
Oh, wait, let me do this.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know that clip, you'll know. Yeah. Anyway.
When you know, you know.
Oh shoot. All right. So what about you? That's one thing to have. The other crazy thing, okay, and this will lead into this. Shane and I, when we had our electrical business and we would be in some of these groups like the Alliance group here, and we're starting to fill in our org chart. All right, okay, so who does this? Well, I do. Who does that? Shayna does. Who does this? I do. Who does that? Shayna does. It's me and Shayna in all these positions. And my thing's on tap lock again. I'm moving. And so it's one of those that now with this business, we've grown to the point where we have 26 team members and we have a leadership team. We collaborate almost daily to grow this thing. And it's just incredible to see. It can happen and it will happen. I had a heating and air friend of mine that just reached out to me over the weekend. He's like, man, I'm struggling. He goes, I see you guys traveling all the time and doing this and doing that. He goes, how can I get to that point? And I'm like, wow, that first of all, that humbled me a bit because we do travel a lot. Shane and I, we have a great team that we can travel and we can work on the road. Right. But I was able to feed into him and give him some good advice of, hey, here's some little chunks that you can do, and even referred him to a business coach to help him get to the next level. He's one of those that he's beyond. I really am structured when I do business coaching and mentoring, like that 1 or 2 man electrical shop. I love appliance guys. I love when you get into the heating and air shops that have that 4 to 8 man. All right, I can, but let me get you somebody who's going to do you better, right? I have more just like 90 days. And then if we want to continue coaching, I do. That's how I have my things set up. But I don't know. I enjoy helping. And anyway, that humbled me a bit to hear him say that. And looking up to me after 44 years of my life and 25 years of being an electrician, having somebody say, wow, I really look up to you, that humbled me. It's like,
yeah,
that's not a small feat and no means,
right. I mean, you guys manage a lot of people.
Yeah.
And people are people, and managing people can be a challenge sometimes, right?
Yep, that's for sure.
Or most times, however you want to look at it, depending on who you're managing, right? But it's a lot of us in here, can be 1 man shows or 1 or 2 man shows. And, probably most are probably 3 or less realistically that watch us. And I mean, when you're looking at like what you said, 26, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And some people can't manage 1 person, let alone 26.
Yeah.
And we're not talking apples to apples businesses here.
Yeah.
But managing people is managing people, period.
Yeah.
And if you don't have strategies in place, I mean, you've got to have some kind of strategy in place. And it's constantly changing because, hiring 1 person and then hiring 2 more is completely different, like completely different companies at that point.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of, especially a lot of electricians that are just like, how do I get to that next point? How do I get to that next truck? How do I get myself out of a truck so much and focusing on growing the business? And it really starts with, what's your vision for the next year? It's as simple as that. Where do you see yourself in the next year? And I like to all the way out to that 10 years. So when I'm doing an initial conversation, all right, tell me about 10 years from now. Like, what's going on in your life? If you just sat back and envisioned what you wanted your life to be in 10 years, what does that look like? Like, what's your family look like? What's your kids look like? What's your life look like? What do you have? What do you own? What are you helping in the community? I mean, what does that look like? And they'll tell me, I love recording these because then I can send it to them and be like, this is what you said. You want your life to be like in 10 years. Right. So if that's where 10 years is at, how do we get back there? All right. So Mike, you told me in 10 years, this is where you're at. So what is that one thing? What's that? Just that one thing that helped you be successful in 10 years. Right. And then they get to tell me, oh, wow, that's really interesting. And then it makes them think, right? Because they're telling themselves what the answer is. And so a lot of it just starts with writing down that 10-year vision, right? That goal. Some of them, it's like, where do I want to be at retirement? You know, and because some of them are
success is different for everybody.
100%.
I mean, you ask 10 people what success means, you're going to get 10 wildly different answers depending on the phase of life they're in, what stage of life they're in, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah. A few years back, I asked my dad, I said, so Dad, do you consider yourself a successful man? And he just sat back and looked at me and he's like, yeah, I do. Without any hesitation, reservation, nothing. He's like, yeah, I do. He goes, I'll tell you why. He goes, because all my kids are in church. They believe in Christ. He said, my house is paid for. My cars are paid for. I'm still married to the love of my life. He goes, I have everything that I need or want. He goes, and if I need something, we either go get it or we save up and we go buy it. He goes, so to me, that's success. That was like such a wow moment, you know, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life, you know. They spent 23 years underground in the coal mines. And I was talking to another guy the other day. We did some work for a mining company that creates roof bolts here locally. I was doing some electrical work for them. And so they have roof bolts that they chuck, you know, that didn't meet the thing. And there was one that was a piece about this big with the head of the roof bolt on it. And I asked the manager I was working for, I said, do you mind if I keep that? I want to do something with it for my dad. And so I took that and then I had a plaque made and I hung that little roof bolt on that plaque, and on it, I put on there, thank you for the many years of working underground so we can have a better life above ground. And I put on there, love, Tracy and Jason. It's my sister. And we gave that to him for Father's Day, probably, I don't know, 15 years ago. So
I love that.
Still hangs on his wall today.
That's awesome.
You know,
I did something similar. My dad was a big gearhead, and I took a 9/16 snap-on wrench, and I had it gold plated.
Oh wow!
And the gold plater said it was the hardest thing he'd ever had to gold plate because you had to strip off all the chrome.
Yeah,
and it was triple chrome plated. And you know, Snap-on goes way above and beyond with their tools.
Yep.
And then I put it on a plaque and custom lettered it and everything. It was pretty cool, and I gave it to him for Father's Day, and I remember that well. So I can relate to those special little gifts like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Man,
so visionary compass.
Yeah,
I got a note here that says you must have a long range vision to keep from being frustrated by short range failures.
That is good.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. If you have your vision with the ultimate outcome and you know that your strategy is good, you're going to have speed bumps along the way.
Yeah.
And you're going to see them as just speed bumps. They just slow you down a little bit, but then you hit the gas again once you're over.
Yeah.
You know, but you're still on the same road. You're still on the same path.
Yeah.
So don't let a little pothole or a speed bump get you down.
Yeah. In that same breath, it reminded me of each month, right? So this is September of 2023. You should already have your plan worked out for September of 2024, right? So each month you should be looking at what next year. So let's start marketing. You know, you love marketing, web design and things. What is your plan for September of 2024 for marketing, right? So we're already starting to line out what marketing things we're going to be doing next year, where we're going to be going.
And that's what our mastermind's going over. Everything for 2024.
Strategic planning, strategy. I love it. Man, time goes fast whenever you're having fun.
I know. It is flying by pretty good.
Yeah.
So
from the peanut gallery. Yeah.
The peanut gallery. Who's the peanut gallery? Us or everybody watching? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
I'll let everybody else.
The nuts are.
Oh shoot.
Sometimes I think we're the biggest nuts, but yeah, let's. You know what? Now it'd probably be a good time just to wrap it up.
All right, I like it.
Sounds like
I'm going to mention
out of thoughts.
Going to mention a couple things. If you're going out to PSA next week, be sure to look us up. We're going to be out there roaming around, and we've got a booth out there at PSA in Vegas. And then also tomorrow night is my monthly podcast. It'll be streamed live at My Office Helps Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And I have a couple of incredible women that's going to be on the show. It's Missy and Macy. They are business leadership development coaches. I mean, they're just two really incredible women. They are Maxwell Leadership certified, as I am. And so we'll be talking a lot about your attitude. One thing that we really want to hit on that I think a lot of our clients will really appreciate is the fear of success or the fear of growing and how to overcome that. As we were talking earlier about being that 1-2-man show and trying to get to those next levels, a lot of us can have that fear placed on our heads. What if I succeed? Or just the opposite. What if I fail? Right. So I know that's one of the topics that we're going to be talking about. So join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on My Office Helps Facebook and YouTube. And of course, it'll be restreamed. It'll be on YouTube forever. So if you don't happen to make it tomorrow night, then be sure to check it out on YouTube. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, that's a good topic. Talking about the fear of being successful is huge. People don't realize how much it holds them back.
Oh yeah. Yep. For sure. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure.
All right.
And next week, I'll have to play it by ear. I'll let you know probably Monday for sure. We should be in Vegas. Shana and I are actually taking the RV and taking a few days to get out there and get back. And we're not big on airplanes. We don't like flying much. So since we've got this, really nice RV, it's like, all right, let's just take our time and drive out there. So thank you, Joe, for being on the show. Joe said thank you, guys.
Yeah, I see that.
So anyway.
And he said, hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. All right. We'll end the stream right there.
That should be a soundbite for the beginning of this thing. All right.
Yeah, right.
All right. Y'all make it a great week.
Have a great week, everybody.